Pig, are you Republican or Democrat?
Hi.
Hello.
I thought that you guys would already be having a conversation. I didn't really come prepared with an opinion.
Oh, okay. So, don't really have a
I'm
side?
back
I align more with the
here.
Democrats.
Why do you side more with the Democrats?
I don't know. It's like spoon-fed information. I don't even know that much about Democrats and Republicans.
Okay, at least you're very
everyone here
honest.
likes Tyler Critter.
Yeah, I'm really honest.
Uh,
I love your shirt.
Tyler with the cat. Awesome.
Cherry, are you Republican or Democrat?
Archduke, are you in the military?
Oh, but I'm just more pro-guns.
Buddy, it's a Roblox outfit.
Oh, right. You're in Kids' Choice Sports. I forgot.
Apple. I love apples. I'm
Fred, are
allergic
you
to apples.
Republican or Democrat?
He's getting to it.
Neither.
Why are you
And
neither?
you shouldn't be either. Because they're stupid.
How are the Democrats stupid?
I agree.
They're just as bad as the Republicans, and they're just as corrupt, and
How are they corrupt?
just as in league with the. What do you mean? They're
I
doing
agree
the
with
exact same
him.
thing as
I
the
agree.
Republicans, but they're doing it under the guise that they're actually helping the people when they're not.
Yo,
How are they
Fred
corrupted
Durst,
though?
They're all at the end of the day, they're all feds, bro.
Yeah, they.
I agree.
Okay, if they're all corrupted, why don't we vote the people that are corrupted out of power and get new people in?
Exactly.
Well, then
People
exactly.
are
Why are you voting
blissfully
Democrat
unaware.
then? Why are you voting Democrat?
'Cause they're
if
not
you
corrupt.
want those corrupt people out of power?
Because they're not
They
corrupt.
are though.
How are they corrupt?
Or
they
maybe not enough people are convinced that they are corrupt and people keep
I mean,
voting
they're,
them.
they're on Super PAC payroll, so I would say so. Actually, He's
Taking
right,
PAC
but-
money, spending money is your First Amendment right. First Amendment right for politics. You're allowed to
Yeah,
give
but-
money to people.
What is the man? If you're taking any sort of what's it called, like APAC money, but like even if it's from like any other foreign country or any business, if you're taking any sort of money like that, you shouldn't be a politician. You're corrupt.
Yeah, also,
APAC gets
can
money
I
from
add-
citizens. It does not get money
can I
from
add-
Israel.
So after the
I'm
BR,
not talking about just APAC. I'm talking about lobbying in general.
Oh yeah. Wait, was it the BR, the Bipartisan Campaign Reform Act, which tried to ban soft money, unlimited contributions, whatever. They found loopholes for that. Anyway, essentially after that, they made campaigns based off of candidates and so like personalities, and included a lot of slandering and a lot of super PACs heavily involved in it. And essentially, what is causing the divide of this country is just the corruption of money in politics and the lobbying groups. And that's not something I want to see. I want more unified America, not divided.
Yeah, but
You
it's
know,
the
and
Republicans
exactly,
dividing
man.
America, not the Democrats.
I
Well,
would
if you
say
still
both
think
of
it's
them are.
Democrats and Republicans,
What are the
then
Democrats doing to divide our country?
You're the one you're being brainwashed right now, man.
You
It's
have
not
a
Democrats and
bias,
Republicans.
Okay.
These Democrats are dividing us.
How are the
Look,
Democrats
okay,
dividing the country?
I lied. I'm not a Democrat. Okay, I am a registered Republican, but really, in my state, you have no power as an independent, so I had to pick a side. But honestly, both sides suck.
How are the Democrats dividing the country?
Both sides are. I'm not.
How
singling
are the
you out,
Democrats
I'm
doing it?
saying
How are they doing it?
Oh my God. They're literally slandering. They're doing slander campaign. You ever see those 10-minute videos? Oh, this guy wants to ban EB. He does not like the people. He wants to raise taxes on Social Security, all that, whatever. Even if it may be true, they're just trying to make this guy look like a clown. You saw the 2020 debate, the 2024 debate. It's not like, oh, I agree, or oh, I disagree, but I'd like to kindly, see what you have to say. No, it's more like, you're stupid. Oh, I
No,
don't
the
like
Democrats don't do that. They do that a lot less compared to the Republicans. The Republicans calling
don't
Joe
care.
Biden a fascist and a communist, insulting him. Okay.
Oh, he's gone.
Captain Schizo. Are you Republican or Democrat?
Yo, is that the guy from what's it called? Shoot, detective game. Disco Elysium.
Whoa. He just lowered my cortisol.
I think
Yeah.
I called it.
But Captain Schizo, are you Republican or Democrat?
I'm neither.
Why are you
Like
neither?
one of them. Well, it's because, like, you know, what you're bringing up with the other guy, asking, like, how the, like, Democrats drive a wedge between communities.
Yeah.
They instinctively do due to the fact that they're the other side.
How are they doing it though?
They kind of just do due to the fact that, like, they call for multiple different things. The whole point of, like,
What are they
Democrat
calling
and
for?
Republican- all they're calling for restrictions on personal liberties. It's same as the right wing. The right wing calls for restrictions on personal liberties, which we know what we're talking about. We can't say it in voice chat because it's bannable.
AB?
Huh?
Abortion? Or what are you talking about? What rights are being taken away?
Yeah, abortion. There's abortion.
whoa.
There's
Sorry, you can keep...
What?
You didn't realize he was using a voice changer, man?
I thought he was just really
Yeah, we just-
old and smoked a lot.
yeah. We're
There's
just
there's
really
no
old. We
way.
smoke a lot.
No way. No wonder you're Democrat, bro. Or you're not Democrat, but it's still part of a party.
No, I'm not.
No, he's talking to me.
Not
He's
you,
calling me an
not
idiot.
you.
Like, sorry, I can't.
I
I'm not
am.
tech illiterate. Okay.
Yeah, it had
That's
it
not
on.
even. You can just tell, man. It's very choppy.
I thought
Very
he smoked
choppy.
a lot. Okay. I thought his. Okay, but you
No.
can keep going, Jeff.
You sound like when
Captain
you smoke
Schizo.
a lot.
Yeah, that was a Trump voice changer.
Oh my god.
Example
I
would
think,
be,
yeah, I think I know what you're talking. I know what you're saying.
Alright, hello?
a good example of horseshoe theory would be anarchy.
No, that wouldn't be a good example.
I feel like that.
Um,
Wouldn't that be like outside the horseshoe?
It would be
No, that
outside the
would be
horseshoe
within
because
the
the whole
horseshoe.
thing, the whole point of the horseshoe is that's only half of the political compass. It's the top half of the political
there's-
compass.
Do you know what communal anarcho
If
is?
there's
Yeah,
no
I do know what communal anarcho
government.
is.
Okay.
A failed ideology. There's
Continue.
no communal anarchist societies in the world.
Yeah. Like
There's a
that's the
lot
whole
of
problem with the
societies that
horseshoe
don't
theory. The biggest issue with the horseshoe theory is that that's only accounting for half, the authoritarian half of the entire political compass. You also got the libertarian half on the lower end.
Well, if there's no balance, they all become the same anyway.
Well, that's why it's a compass and not just one half of the compass.
Well, do you align yourself with any specific labeled political ideologies?
No, I do not label. I don't think anybody should label themselves as any specific political ideology.
Wait, why not?
Well, that's partially what the compass is there for. Is there any? There are, right? There are specific ones that you can point to on a political compass, but you can place yourself in those quadrants.
But you shouldn't call yourself a liberal?
You could, but liberal is broad.
Well, like the American
Liberal is
definition of
literally
liberal.
the broadest term ever. There's so many different terms, like different meanings for liberal now. It's
Yeah.
stupid.
I mean the American definition, not like of believing in democracy.
Liberalism or
There's
yeah,
neo,
believing in-
there's
okay.
there's neoclassical liberal. There is classical liberal. There is post-liberal. It's a spectrum.
Yeah, so I guess I would be like a social liberal or something like that. That exists.
Yeah, and you can pinpoint that on a compass. You can't pinpoint that on a horizon.
What do you mean by horizon?
Like the
That's a
horseshoe
new word.
theory. The horseshoe theory is a horizon. It's just like a level plane and then up above. It's not below.
I thought horseshoe theory was one side, like they would become very far out and then they come like connected. They're really close to each other. Is that not what it is?
They would, because it's being compared to authoritarianism compared to your economics. So the X is, the Y is the authoritarianism, how much the government has
Oh,
control
yeah.
over it.
Does anybody here vote?
I would if I was old enough.
Because there's really no reason to.
Well, that's why a democracy would fail. People think their vote doesn't matter. when it
Well,
does.
This
my
is why
vote
we don't live in
matters,
a
but
democracy.
the thing is I don't want my vote going to either side.
Wait, we do live in a democracy though.
We live in a republic. If it was
A democracy
it'd
is
be
a
up to the
republic.
people.
Do people vote in their elected
No,
officials?
democracy is not a republic.
Do people vote in
And
their
they
elected
don't.
officials?
See,
In this
here's
country.
The difference. The reason why we don't have a democracy is because we have the electoral college. Just because we have the electoral college means it's a republic and not a democracy.
Do we vote
Yeah,
of how we are governed?
If there was no middleman for voting, then it would be a democracy.
No, that would be like the direct democracy, right? That would be where you vote on
Well,
everything.
Yeah.
But
that's how it works. But
We
to say
vote
that
for
it's
people
a
to vote for
democracy-
us. That's a democratic republic or whatever, which is a democracy.
Yeah, but why should I vote for those people? Because at the same time, those people might say they want to vote for the stuff I want, but
You're claiming
they're not,
black
they
and
might
white
not,
when
they might
there's
just not.
hold it, you're claiming black and white when there's gray area.
What's the gray area?
But having
The
having
gray
an
area is that
electoral college-
you've stated yourself that it's a democratic republic. Did you not?
Yeah, that's like the technical term of our governing body or whatever.
Yeah, it's our technical term of democracy because democracy isn't just democracy or not. It is democracy within a spectrum.
Okay, we're arguing about the wrong thing. We get to vote. We technically basically live in a democracy. Do you agree with that?
We get to vote, but it matters how much you think your vote really counts.
No.
Then
but
what-
Yeah, sure. I'll technically agree.
Okay.
Technically, let's
really
put
quickly,
emphasis on
Captain,
technically.
Just before we move on, I just want to make a statement, right? Okay.
Okay.
Are you entering every single are you comprehending every single person's statement before you iterate your own?
Yes.
Clarification.
Like Toji.
Hmm?
I said Choji, like Toji from Jujutsu Kaisen.
I love that show. But Choji, are you Republican or Democrat?
I'm third party.
What does that mean?
Hell yeah.
I'm
Democrat
neither.
or Republican.
Well, are you like right wing or left wing?
Well, it depends on like the issue, really.
So are you
That's
progressive?
another thing
Yeah.
with Democrats and Republicans.
Uh,
Democrats are always like
He's technically correct.
Who is?
Well, I voted for American Solidarity Party.
I've never heard
It's
of
a very
that.
small party, so they're like economically wise, they're very progressive, but when it comes to like a lot of social issues like abortion, for example, they're like pro-life, and that. So, but yeah, it's more of on like an issue to issue basis, I guess. My views.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't
yeah,
think
I was
that we
gonna
should
say
have an
like
electoral
the
college.
thing of like
What?
Same.
I was making a statement. I don't think that we should have an electoral college.
Why not? I think it works pretty well.
I
no,
don't
it
think
doesn't,
works
man.
well.
Most of our votes, like the people we vote for, those same electoral college members might not just like vote what we wanted them to vote for.
Okay, if
we-
they
we
don't
have
vote for
already
what we
seen
vote
that.
for,
That
we
entire
don't vote for
thing.
them again. And then we get somebody who will vote for
See,
us. Don't we?
But
That's not how the
Okay,
electoral
but
college
by that
works. It doesn't
time,
work
your
off of
vote
like a
wouldn't matter
senatoriate,
anymore.
right? Yeah, it doesn't work off of a senatoriate. The whole issue is that we have seen how they can buff their own numbers to prove how many votes can count for a specific state. They have buffed their own numbers on multiple different occasions.
Wait, what
through
does that
illegal
mean? Like
immigration.
gerrymandering? What is bust the numbers?
No.
Well, okay. Rorian,
so
I can
you
just give
do-
you an example as to why the electoral college is bad, just going based off history, right? Okay. During the Civil War, and I'm not saying that what these people voted for is bad, but the reason they voted to end slavery was not, I don't understand what's happening then, was not for the interests of black individuals.
Well, I don't care. It's
Right.
slavery.
No.
I don't care why they voted for
the
it.
reason they voted is because they were paid to vote that way, or they were threatened.
I'll be right back.
You cannot threaten an entire country to vote.
Well, do you know how many electoral college vote? Do you know what like electoral college votes are based off of?
Yes.
I'm asking him.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, you're fine. My bad. I didn't specify.
Are we asking me?
No. The guy in the ODST helmet with the NATO armband.
Oh, the NATO armband. I just noticed that. That's awful, man.
All right, I'm back. Sorry.
That's the worst part of the whole
Yeah,
thing.
I said, do you know what electoral college votes are based off of?
To me,
Yeah.
isn't like congressmen and women?
No, it's population.
But don't
No,
the
wait,
senators get to vote?
What? No,
Yeah,
we're talking
senators-
electoral college is only for the for electing your president.
Yeah, it is. It's for federal issues, not state.
Yeah, but
state.
do you not see like the main problem with it is that like for example if like for like I'm in California, like it's a very, I think it's very obvious it's a very liberal state. There's a decent like amount of conservatives here, but they are like the minority. The problem is with the electoral college is Republicans are so in the state, they're so discouraged to like vote because even if they vote, the thing is, since California is such a liberal state, and since electoral college is like a winner takes all system, it doesn't matter if like the Republicans vote. There's like 6 million registered Democrats versus 3 million registered Republicans. The Democrats are gonna get the
And
state the
it's-
entire time. It's
Yeah,
super
it's
unfair.
It's based off of county. It's based off of population.
Yeah,
which
but
is what I was
it's-
getting at.
It's how is that not fair? It's like it's not.
Right, it's not fair. I'm not defending it. I'm saying that that's the reason why it is the way it is.
And what is the reason?
Population, which is why most of these states which have high
No, if it
voting
was
requirement.
if it was population, we would abolish the electoral college and we would do it by popular vote.
Oh, you're completely correct. If we recognize that it
Uh-huh.
was population, we would abolish it. You're completely correct.
Fuck it.
But we
Fuck it.
don't recognize it.
What do you mean
So-
we don't recognize what?
It's the Jews.
They can. It's beyond that, sure. Yeah, whatever. But notice how California has most of the voting system on the electoral college, or Texas. It's not because of the size of it, relatively, because there are some states that are close to it, but are less than half of the actual vote worth. It's because of the population within places like California or Texas.
Well, I mean, no,
Which
it's
is
I
why
mean,
they boost their numbers, which is also why you have voter fraud when it comes to people who have already been dead or illegal immigration.
do you seriously think like, do you think that there's that much voter fraud going on here in the U.S. because of like
Yes.
undocumented immigrants or?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
it's
read
in
the
other
entire
countries.
article really quick.
No, but-
I would say I'm the person that's most capable of having this conversation. There is a
Hmm.
lot of voter
Okay,
fraud.
and how like what were the numbers for voter fraud that you
I don't
gathered?
remember them off the top of my
Hmm.
head, but I will tell you it's not. I wouldn't say it's so much as people that are quote unquote aliens, but it's definitely deceased.
Let me
And-
ask
and
you.
how-
Would it
much is
overturn
that?
an election?
Choji, how about I ask you? Do you know
No,
what like statistics is?
Yeah, I've
Have you
looked
ever
at the
done any
statistics.
statistics?
The
No, I'm not
amount of
asking
voter
about the
fraud.
Statistics. I'm talking about the study. Have you ever done statistics in like any type of classroom?
Yeah, I took AP statistics last year.
Okay, so you know that like it doesn't require specific like actual doctrinal notes. Statistics is a study on patterns.
Yeah, and what the statistics have gathered is that voter fraud here in the U.S. is like is marginally. It's like extremely low. It's like
No, what
0.0002%.
gathered is that a lot of people have been fraudulently voting.
But would
because
that
they're
overturn an
mostly
election?
dead.
Yeah, it's not. Where are you getting your numbers from? Because we've seen like even throughout U.S. history that the amount of voter fraud in our nation is nowhere near the amounts to overturn an election. The most
thing is,
conservative
y'all
estimates we
still
have is
think
zero
it's
point zero zero 2%. It's very low. I
Where
don't know
are your
where you.
numbers.
Ooh,
You
rep
talk
it
like
down.
you have specific numbers. You talk like you got
Either way,
specific numbers.
voter
Where's your
fraud
numbers?
varies based on the president's candidate. So, based on who the election is for, it typically varies. It's gonna vary based on that.
But has there ever been enough fraud to
Okay,
overturn any election?
Brennan Center for Justice, they did a study and they found that voter fraud falls between 0.00004% and 0.0009%.
You said who found
You
that?
know,
Was it like an
that's
actual?
the-
Hold on, hold on, hold on.
Brennan Center for Justice. They
Does that
do.
also
he
account
was-
for the
he was-
unreported
he was-
numbers?
He was trying. He was
Mm.
to be elect. He was running in like an actual.
No,
race, correct?
Brennan. It's the study. It's the organization that conducted the study. It's not a.
Okay.
And then you Heritage Foundation. This is they're very known for their conservative leanings. They did a study and they only found like 0.0008% of voter fraud, and that was in, I think, Pennsylvania specifically, and like for like over 100 million voters, they only found like 0.003, I think, 0.0004. It's very minuscule, and this is from the Heritage Foundation as well. So
Okay, was that in a federal election or a state election?
it was over. I mean, they included. I'm pretty sure in their study they included state, like senatorial, representative, and federal elections, and they found the voter fraud to still be, like, across all of them to be marginally low.
Okay, and you know that's gonna vary from state to state, right?
But I don't think it matters. It's not going to overturn an election.
Yeah, 0.00039% is not going to overturn an election. Even for,
Yeah, it's
even
not a
for-
real issue.
Okay.
Even
well,
for
really
even for
quick,
rep.
Please stop
No,
touching the
even for.
microphone.
Okay, do you know how small 0.00004% is? Even for, like, say for a representative vote, where, like, for example, in California, like in at least my district for representatives has like a population of, I think, is it 700,000?
You're being pretty obnoxious. Like,
I don't like
Okay,
that I'm wrong.
Okay,
obnoxious about it.
Okay, but
okay,
he's
well,
right,
then
though.
you speak your point, though.
Do you
It would
disagree
be
with him?
better if
Okay,
you were
so
more
is the
audible.
point
No, I was just- I was
hold
just-
on, is the point in arguing all this is the fact that you would say that gerrymandering and actually, like, specifically shifting parts of percentage of votes doesn't actually do anything, and that anybody should be able to do it?
It does affect our nation in a bad way,
Okay,
but
you were saying
you
that
brought
it
up.
doesn't affect us. You're
No,
saying
I'm
that
saying
doesn't do it on
if this was an actual thing that existed, if this was a problem that existed, yes, it would affect us. But the amount of voter fraud that happens here in the U.S. is marginally low. That theory that you said.
the fact that you can prove that there is a percentage underlines that there's more percentage to it.
What does that even
No,
mean?
the percentage is like a couple of thousand in the U.S. And even so, even the fraud, those thousands of cases that actually happen of voter fraud, they usually the penalties for voter fraud are like even across states, because I'm pretty sure it varies by state to state.
Has anyone?
Yes, people have got.
Really
It's like a 10 to
there is
15-year
more-
jail
There
sentence.
is more cold cases than there are reported deaths.
And how much more cold cases do you think there could possibly be? Like,
Okay,
A
but
lot
I'm not
more.
talking.
That's the whole point
I'm
about
really.
a cold
I don't need to
case.
have the exact statistics for that.
well,
but
you
what I am
know the
saying-
burden of proof is on you guys. If you're gonna say like there's a potential for like thousands of voter fraud cases, you guys have to prove it. But the studies have not proved that.
We
They have
can
not-
play burden of proof ping pong
Okay.
all day long.
But prove this
Buddy.
is a real issue.
What,
Well, it's like
what
me
is your
saying like
goal?
unicorns exist, and then and then somebody tells me to prove it, and I'm just like, it just exists. There's a potential for it to exist. You have to prove that there's actually cases of this happening. You
You're
can't
bringing
just
up the
say.
proof that there's a potential that our
But
votes
you
actually
brought
go
up a
in for the
number
fact of what they're
that
at.
proves
You're,
that it
you're
happens,
bringing
no?
up you are bringing up the fact that, like, voting happens unanimously across the board, right? Is that what you're
What-
bringing up?
What do you mean unanimous? What do you mean by
There
that?
isn't any fraud. There isn't any disagreement.
There is fraud.
No, I said there's fraud, but it's extremely low.
It's
it's
extremely, low,
low.
from what you know of.
It's extremely
Based
low
on
to the point where it's not going to overturn. It's not going to overturn federal elections. It's not going to overturn any state elections. It's extremely
yeah,
low.
from your statistics from specific.
What are your
numbers,
statistics?
was
Yeah.
based most of your. That's the whole part about it. Is there is none.
Because it's not a real issue.
So it's
Same
not.
thing with- it's the same thing with pollution. We can say that there's pollution happening in the air and it's bad for the environment. We can't give you the exact numbers.
No,
because
you
nobody
can. There
reports-
are plenty of beautiful
Nobody-
studies out there which prove that there's pollution. Like they measured like the carbon levels in our oceans, in our airs, and it's like there's definitely proof for pollution.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that there is proof. You can't infallibly
Mm.
determine that because there's places that you can't measure that, like over in China or India, or the Antarctic.
But there are studies in China and India and the Antarctic.
Okay, what are the studies? So who
The
provides the
Antarctic, I
studies?
promise there is no studies in the Antarctic.
Yeah,
Okay, maybe not the
who
of
provides?
the what do you mean? No, there are. They literally go to the poles and they measure the amount of like ice that's
Okay,
melted.
we're arguing
or
about the wrong
amount of,
thing
like,
right now.
carbon.
I remember.
Okay.
I
We
remember
shouldn't be
the
arguing
last
about
time-
this.
I remember the
So-
last time. I remember the last time that China, allowed people into their own country to determine, how much pollution is happening in their country, which is bad propaganda, which is what their country's known for.
But you have to have the burden of proof that my studies are propaganda. If anything, the source I listed, which was the Heritage Foundation, they're a very conservative organization. If anything, they should be advocating or they should be creating fake numbers that prove that there's like some larger amount of voter fraud, because that's a very big conservative issue.
If they made it obvious,
So,
wouldn't that
Koji,
retract
do you know what the
from the
problem
point of making fraudulent votes?
You
If
just
they made
have
it
no
obvious?
proof this is a real issue. You cannot prove it in the
So wait,
slightest.
you're telling me the Heritage Foundation, a very conservative organization, is purposely being unbiased. Like, it's not even unbiased. They're purposely being
Dick
like
Cheney.
going against.
What about you?
They're going
Koji,
against
do
what?
you know what the
what?
problem is with estimated statistics?
What? Please tell me.
Is that number is always changing and thus it is untrackable.
So prove it. Please provide me the studies. You guys have the burden of proof. It's like saying like there's a unicorn exists.
We're
I'm telling you.
We're telling you
Where?
there is no burden
Where?
of proof. We're also telling you that you don't have any burden of proof within yourself. You can't prove it.
None of
We
us
can't
can
prove
tell
it.
you exactly how many.
Okay,
times
so
the
then
pollution has
you
been
you cannot say that there is voter fraud going on then by your own definition.
Yeah, and you
If
can't
it's
tell us
been
that people get.
recorded to an
You can't tell
extent,
us.
it means it's
in-
happening.
In the same point, you can't tell us that people get voted in based off of what the people want.
I mean, I would say that for other reasons, not including voter fraud. I would say it's
so
because
what
of
are
our
the
money
other
in our
reasons?
politics. The fact we have so much money in our politics that it gets to a point where instead
You're
like you have
right.
instead of but I would not
But-
attribute that to voter fraud. I
Isn't
wouldn't say
spending
that's because
money
of
in
voter fraud.
politics your First Amendment right to like use your
No,
money
I
to?
think that's a
We're talking about lobbying.
No, but
lobbying
no.
is not a First Amendment right.
Well,
That is not.
no, Vorian is right in the sense like the Supreme Court and Citizens United ruled that apparently money accounts as some form of freedom of speech, and I think
Yeah.
that's a whole load of crap. That's
Wait,
not,
what?
That's that is a horrible decision. That basically says that you're treating money as it has some form of like human rights. And
Yeah,
do
that
you
it
see how,
comes
like,
from me to
corruptible-
support you. But yeah, it could be.
I can't
Yeah,
say
you're
the
kinda right
full
there.
word
No, but
here
it doesn't
because
have
it's
protections.
faster.
The ruling basically it ruled out like any limits we have. The reason we have campaign limits is so you don't have a billionaire here spending billions of dollars on one politician. And at that point, it basically becomes a propaganda like effort. And then you have these voters. They just vote because of how much money has been funneled into that politician.
And that's what we've been saying.
No, you're talking
Okay, so
about voter
you do-
fraud.
Yeah. Talk about voter fraud. We're talking about the fact that the dollar pays more for voting rather than the actual individual.
I would count that. I would say that is voter fraud, but I wouldn't say like the amount of undocumented immigrants voting in a federal election or like the voter fraud as in like the physical voter fraud is like an actual thing.
Oh my god.
Let's talk about the H-1B visas.
What about them?
What's your thoughts on the H-1B visas?
They're pretty good,
My
right?
parents came over on an H-1B visa, but
Yeah, they
I
help our
will agree
economy.
there is fraud that goes on within that system. But I will say it's a good part of our immigration system, and I don't think we should get rid of it altogether. I think it does need reform though.
The presidencies are based off the Electoral College. I will agree with you that it doesn't genuinely play a role because it's not like it dictates anything.
But how does it
Like-
have to do with H-1B visas though?
Okay, but I
It's
was
just-
talking about butterflies because I'm looking at.
It's
Oh.
an
right now.
example of the fact of the way that the Republicans do the same thing that the Democrats do,
Like what?
flooding their numbers.
What does that mean, flipping their numbers?
They bring people in, they can vote for other people.
H1,
and so
you cannot
forth.
vote
How?
under an H-1B visa. You don't even have your. First of all, H-1B visas aren't even like they aren't even considered permanent immigrants. They have to renew their visa constantly every year. So not only do
So
they don't even have a green card yet.
That's not even one of the things like.
No,
what
how
H-1B
do you think
is.
these guys? How do you think they can vote? How are they able at all to vote?
The
Do you
same
think-
way
do-
that other people are able to vote. Like some places don't require voter ID, which is how some of the numbers are flood.
Yeah, they still require you to register on a citizens database. So they do. There's still some form of
Have you
registration
voted- have
of
you voted
verification.
before? Have you
Yes!
voted before?
Yes.
How many times? In which state?
I voted once, and it was for like I think it was for like, again, that American Solidarity Party.
Oh,
was-
okay. So it wasn't a federal vote. Okay,
No.
so which
But
state did you
they
vote
still
in?
require like registration
Which
efforts.
state did
What
you
do you-
vote in?
California. They still require registration efforts. What?
Yeah, you can't just show up and put a name down. Do you think that's how it happens?
Yeah, they can't show up and put a name down, but what did this have to do with, like, you know, a city? Is it a citywide? Is that what you're voting for?
I think it's every single thing you vote and you're registered to vote.
No.
Oh, sorry, no. My bad.